Apologies, but this is going to be a bit of a rant about DMZ. I keep trying to stay positive about the game. I want to make videos saying how great it is and showing really fun stuff, but sometimes they just do stuff that winds me up. It doesn't help that we just spent 4 hours on stream in building 21 mostly. I was trying to get all of the Velikan kills done so I could get the Barter grenade launcher, because of course you can't do that during the week when I normally stream because reasons. They decide to shut building 21 all week. And in that time, in 4 hours, we had like 5 or 6 crashes each, me on PC, Flynn on Xbox, where every time we crash, obviously, we just lose everything. We even had one game where all 3 people on our team crashed individually. It's an absolute nightmare at the moment. But that's not even really what this video is about. What this video is about is that the COD Updates Twitter channel announced that they have changed the plea system again in DMZ. They did this a few hours after I made my last video talking about how, hey, I think the assimilation system's in a pretty good place right now. They've changed it again, so now it's gone back to kind of how it was at the beginning, where if you plea, anyone can get you back up, and if they get you back up, you automatically join their team, and you don't have a choice in that, and the people who are getting you up don't have a choice in that. So now people aren't going to res you if you can't assimilate to a team. Say if they're in a 6-man, they're not going to res you anymore, and lots of people are just going to automatically join teams that they're not communicating with, that they didn't really want to join, and there's no option just to leave a squad in DMZ. You can't choose to leave. The only way you can do it is by going back to your original team and trying to assimilate back with them. I think this is kind of stupid, to be honest. I don't really understand who was asking for this, who wanted this change to go back to the way it was. Because now we're just going to be in the same situation where the kind of default behavior of a lot of people in DMZ will be to go get in a fight at the very beginning of the game, and that's easy to do because everyone knows where everyone else spawns. So it's super easy to just go, get in a fight at the beginning. If you win, you just res all of the people that you just killed, and that's super simple. And then if you die, you just plead for help and then assimilate into their team, and then go around and hunt other people on the map. Of course you could do that with the last system, but with the last system you always had the risk that if you res someone, maybe they're just going to run off to join their team again. Maybe they're going to run off and try and kill you. They don't necessarily have to join you. And I thought that was interesting, that if you want to make a team of 6, there was a few challenges, there was a bit of risk involved in it. But now we've just gone back to, yep, all the time there's just going to be 6-man teams, and especially with some of the players who are a bit more, let's say, dedicated to DMZ, having finished most of their missions now. We've just finished all of our tier 5 story missions over the weekend. With a lot of people finishing those missions, now people have a lot less to do in DMZ, so a lot of people are just going around and killing players. Now, don't get me wrong, I personally have nothing against people going into DMZ to get kills. Like, I know there's a lot of people that complain and say, oh, people should play Warzone if they want to fight other players. I mean, I don't care. DMZ's a sandbox. You can go in and do what you want. If you want to go in and you just want to fight AI and you want to get your missions done, that's absolutely fine. If you want to go in and you just want to kind of go through the whole upgrade path, that's fine. If you want to go in and fight other players, personally, I think that's fine too. I know it can be annoying for people who play the game solo and go in by themselves and then are getting hunted down by 6-man squads, and that is frustrating, but the game's not really designed to be played solo. Like, you're already playing it kind of on hard mode by playing it solo. You're making it more difficult for yourself than it needs to be. And if other players choose to hunt you down and kill you, that's kind of up to them. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. Now, that's not to say that I agree with people teaming. I know there's some people that go in as a group of 6, so they like all 6 of them queue up at the same time, and they all meet up and then they go kill players. I think that's cheating. I think that's teaming. But if you're going in as a group of 3 with the idea that you want to kill players and that maybe you're going to meet up with some other people like randomers and just in the game you're hoping to make a team of 6, I think that's fair play, because that's kind of how the game's designed at this point. I just think it's a mess right now. Like, I've played more DMZ over the last few weeks than I have done for the last few months, and there's just been so many problems since the Season 4 Reloaded update. Like, the crashing is absolutely insane. The number of crashes is just unbelievable right now. The last story mission we did, I mean, speaking of the story missions, they're all kind of terrible. Like, all of the tier 5 story missions should be the climax of DMZ. It's like the final missions you're doing in DMZ, and they're all really, really boring and nothing much happens. But the final one we were doing, I think it was the White Lotus one, we had to go into Koshai Complex, we had to take 2 gas simples, one from Vondel, one from another bit of Koshai Complex, and combine them at a machine. We did it, I think, 5 times, and the first 4 times, we got to the machine with the gas samples, and the prompt to interact just wasn't there. And people in my chat told me, oh yeah, if you go into Koshai Complex and there's no countdown at the beginning, or it takes all your ammo away, you're in a bugged lobby and therefore it won't work. That's so annoying. Like, that's so frustrating, and it makes an already anticlimactic mission just super irritating. We had to go through all of the steps of the whole mission 5 times before we got it to work. Like, that is unbelievably annoying. Couple that with Building 21, lots of people are getting dev errors in Building 21. Like I said, Flynn on the Xbox was just getting dev errors that sent him to dashboard. I would say maybe 1 in every 3 games. I was just getting random freezes on PC that would just crash me out completely, and then you lose everything. I know they did sort of talk about the idea there's going to be a rejoin feature that you can rejoin within 4 minutes. That doesn't work. At least neither of us ever had that option every time we tried, every time we crashed, which was a lot today. We had lots of times where we went into Building 21, which again is a difficult place to go into. Like, if you go in there, often you want to take your best stuff and that. Sometimes we'd spawn in and our guns just weren't there. Like, one of our guns or both our guns would just have disappeared. Loads of times we had random teammates who just didn't have any guns. Loads of times we had teammates who crashed out. We had one who was saying that he'd had a bunch of games where for some reason 2 Velicans would spawn at once. That happens quite late into the game. But if that happens and apparently someone kills the second Velican, that crashes the server. It just feels like there's so much going wrong with the game right now. Like, so many times that things are happening badly. And again, on top of that, there's all of the problems with the meta right now. I know there's lots of people that hate the fact that if you go into, say, Building 21, where we've been, nearly everyone is running either an auto fire shotgun like the Broadside or the Guardian, the grenade launcher, or the dual pistols, the X13 or the dual basilisks. So the time to kill is essentially 0. Like, as soon as an enemy's seen you, you're dead. Or, you know, if we see an enemy team, we could just wipe them out. We got so many kills in there because, you know, we were using the fire shotguns and the grenade launchers. It seems like you'd be crazy not to right now. I can't remember having any fights throughout all of our 4 hours today where people were using like assault rifles and SMGs and fighting at distance down corridors. It was very much a case of, can you close the gap to them? If not, use a grenade launcher. If they're in a room, use a grenade launcher. If they're around a corner, use a grenade launcher. If you can get close to them, use the fire shotgun and wipe them out almost instantly. It's really funny that the game has started doing these things where it's like, hey, how did you find the time to kill in that game? And it's like, they're only asking one question, how's the time to kill? And the only answer, you know, I think that makes sense is it's way too fast because you can die instantly. Even with a full free plate, you can get wiped out by a grenade launcher in 2 grenades. You can get wiped out with a fire shotgun in like maybe 3 shots if you're pretty close. Maybe it's 2 even. It's super, super fast. But if you're giving them the feedback that the time to kill is too fast, I can imagine them doing things like weakening the assault rifles, weakening the SMGs, because they don't know what you're talking about, which weapons you're talking about or anything like that. Unless they have some like statistics maybe. Maybe they've got some data that says, hey, you killed a load of people with a grenade launcher or you got killed with a shotgun. So now we're going to ask you what the time to kill feels like. But it feels like it's a mess. It feels like there's lots of guns at the moment that are just broken, that make the time to kill kind of a bit of a joke at the moment. It makes the whole armor system a little bit of a joke. And, you know, I've been saying for a long while that the biggest problem with Call of Duty is the gun system, like the gunsmith, the loadout system, the fact that they give you so many options, so many attachments, now the tuning on top, there's so many different guns that of course there's going to be something that's a bit broken. There's going to be some combination of things. It would be insane for them to be able to change anything and keep track of, are any of the guns potentially broken? Although it does seem a little bit weird that the Broadside has been broken for like, what, a month now? 2 months? And they haven't done anything about it. Like, it's just entirely too strong. But anyway, thank you for letting me rant, for listening to this rant. Let me know in the comments what you're annoyed about with DMZ. Let's just have like a venting session. Just in the comments, tell me what you don't like about DMZ right now. What is winding you up about it? Let's just get it all out of our systems. And then tomorrow, on Monday, I'll be back streaming. I'll be positive. We'll be going to a Sheikah. I need to find loads of vases and cigar boxes and masks. And I'm sure I'll have a great time and have nothing to complain about whatsoever. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Or, you know, if you're annoyed with DMZ, become a member of the channel. Yeah, become a member of the channel if you're annoyed with DMZ. No one becomes a member. I will assume that everyone is super happy with it. Anyway, have a good weekend, the rest of it anyway, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.